What's going on? It's your boy Trey, and this is When Can I Talk? And I'm going to tell you a story time of when simping goes completely wrong. Let me give a backstory before I continue on here. Growing up with the low self-esteem, being a black kid in an all-white town, being fat, being short, I couldn't do anything about. Being fat, I could do something about, but I was a kid. I grew up. I'm still fat now, so there's really no excuses there. However, growing up that young and being that way, being, like I said, being black in an all-white town, you really just never felt inferior. And so you felt like in order to get a woman, you had to go out of your fucking way to get her, right? You have to be this perfect man, especially because you don't have anything else to give. You don't got the resources. You're not tall. You're not attractive. You're not this, and that's fair. Cool. I'm here to play the game just like y'all are. So that being my backstory, there was girls who thought I was good looking, and there was girls who were willing to deal with my chubbiness, but it was never the women I wanted, and that was always the issue. I never saw any girl out of my league. Even though I had low self-esteem, I still went for it. I didn't give a fuck. That's the same kind of guy I am now. Still gonna go for it, but I'm very aware I could fail. So growing up like that, man, I thought you had to treat every woman like a queen, whether she was a single mother, whether she had kids, whether she did drugs. She was just a product of her environment because men are evil. Because I saw that happen so much with the girls that were in my life. It was always, typical fucking story. She went for the bad guy. He slapped her around, and now she's calling you and texting you. I went through that. I was the guy. I was the guy getting the text messages that she's getting beat. I was the guy getting the text messages that girl was being assaulted. And I thought that being a simp, at the time we called it nice guy syndrome, pretty much. I thought if being a nice guy, I should get these women because they deserve better. And so that's what you went off of. You thought you had to go over and above. If women like this go for men like this, men who just don't give a fuck, or sometimes men who are just like, whatever, be with me, don't be with me, whatever, men who are just doing their own thing. You thought you have to be the extreme side, like super, super nice. So let's start the story now. So I meet this girl. I'm working at a call center. In fact, I'm going to give y'all two stories in one because it was the same type of girl, but one was younger and this is just the older version. It's like I dated a girl while she was young, right? I dated this girl when she was 24, and then I dated the same version of this same girl when she was in her 30s. Does that make sense? It's like, that's what it felt like. It felt like I was dating my future ex-girlfriend. Let me tell the story so it makes more sense. So I dated this girl, and we're gonna call her. We're just gonna call her Not Nice. So Not Nice was a very okay person, had a good heart on her shoulders, but she was gotta be the most not nicest person I've ever met. Because she didn't know how to filter her mouth, and so she would say stuff, and even though it may be somewhat factual, she would run with that and then use that as an excuse to be mean. Like, let's say she said something like, wow, you play baseball? That's not even a great sport. I mean, I heard everybody who plays that sucks. Now, she would say that to somebody who plays baseball, loves baseball, and that is their life, is baseball. She'd be the one to be like, oh, well, baseball's kind of meaningless. You should be in rodeo. Rodeo is a real man's sport. Not nice. That's not nice. Why would you say that? And the fact that, keep in mind, let me explain to you Not Nice. Not Nice was like 5'5", 5'4", right? Wore boots, cargo pants for men, t-shirts for men, and a jacket for men, glasses, haircut. Her hair was nice. The filthiest. That's a story for another time. But she's one of the filthiest people I've ever met. I can't believe I dated her. But I was dating her before I saw The Room. This girl also lived with her parents. And she was 24, like I said, when I got with her. She's 24, living with her parents. Terrible with money. Spends money on all types of stuff. Doesn't make any sense. And I know what you're thinking, and you're absolutely fucking correct. I should have never got with this girl. But that was me. That's on me. The inner simp in me. And I think this is kind of what some girls think when they get with a bad guy. I think some men do the same thing. They think that if they get with a woman who is really loudmouth, bossy, degrading, a bad bitch is what you would say. All that. And this girl was white, so I wouldn't consider her a bad bitch. She was just socially. Anyway, so we think that we get with women like this. In this case, I got with not nice because I knew she wasn't nice, and I thought that my niceness could spread over her niceness and she would become a kinder person. No. I dated this girl and let her talk to me. And she wasn't calling me outside of my name or anything like that. But the way she spoke to me and other people was the rudest. That make no sense. Delusional person I've ever met. And I kept simping. And I simped when I knew I should have never got with her. And it ended with her blocking me. Because I told her, congratulations for getting a job that I helped her get. What are you talking about? Listen, while I was dating this girl, I paid for her to go to school. I paid for her to go to school. I told her the only way I'd pay for her to go to school is if we were going to get married. That sounds so stupid saying it now. And she said, okay. I mean, I didn't say it like that. I just said, is there a plan of us getting married? I'm not going to do this unless we're going to get married. Plain and simple. She said yes. Stupid. So I paid for her to go to college. And she gets done with her classes. I help her study all these nights. I go out of my way every night when I could be sleeping. I could be doing my own thing. I could be making YouTube. I could be doing some freaky stuff. I'm just kidding. I went and helped her. And that was on me too. Let's not just bring her down. I was going out of my way and I shouldn't have. I should have just let her go. Just be like, you know what? Fuck it. If you need my help, call me, but I'll see you when I see you. But it was part of that loneliness thing. You wanted to be around her all the time, blah, blah, blah. She was my best friend. But anyway, I paid for her to go to college, only for her to turn around and block me. I haven't talked to her since. Blocked me for paying for her college. The person who paid for your college, you blocked them and never speak to them again. And I had done nothing wrong to her at this point. I over-simped. I was nice to a person who was not nice, and I got fucking burned. It was stupid. Now, that story is what leads to this story. I met this girl, and we're going to call her Daisy. And Daisy was a single mother with two baby fathers. Had probably the worst teeth ever from drug use. And that doesn't bother me, but it bothers me later, all right? Because she makes it bother me. She had the worst teeth ever, all right? She had done drugs, but she had gotten clean, but she still drank a ton. Probably one of the worst workers. And I know I say these kind of shit like the worst, but that's the people I went for. The worst. That's why when I say, man, she was probably one of the meanest people I met, this is probably one of the worst workers I met, it's all true. She's one of the worst workers I met because she would make up any excuse not to go to work. Or she would get drunk. Or do drugs. And on the night before she has to come to work. And then complain. And then not show up to work because she got drunk. And then she would be like, I don't have enough money to feed my children. Wait a minute. You can't feed your kids because you don't have enough money, but you decided to go spend money on liquor and beer and all that. Get drunk with friends who don't give no fucks about you and what happens to you. And you drank with them. And sometimes she's drunk by herself. You did that. So now you can't show up to work the next day. And now your paycheck is short. And she wouldn't do this just once. She would do this maybe 3 or 4 times a month, right? There was times she would disappear for weeks and then complain she ain't got no money. But she had men in her life like me a simp and other men who would pay for her because we felt bad because her life was hard. Even though she brought all this shit up on herself, she's the one who got with these men, and then she had a baby with another man who she already knew was doing drugs and shit. So what does that mean? Maybe she's a fucking bad person. That's what we need to start understanding. Man, woman, doesn't matter. Sometimes when somebody gets with the bad person, that may be an indication that they themselves are fucked up too. That's just a reality. That is a reality. That sometimes when somebody gets with somebody bad, they're fucked up too. Me, being a simp, got with her. So it does say something about me. It does. Not that my heart was huge. I was just a dumbass. Because I thought simping was the way to win this girl. Because that's what... I'm not going to say society teaches us, but it's just kind of what you feel like you grow up learning. There's only two sides to being a man. Either you can be a simp and to be a super nice guy and just hope it works, or you can be the guy who's like, you know what, I'll run everything. And there was no middle. You know, there was no, I never thought about, I could be a man who runs things, takes care of the bills and does all this shit and all that kind of stuff, but also the responsibility also falls on me. If the family crumbles, it's my fault. If my kids don't have clothes to wear, it's my fault. If my wife doesn't have the stuff she needs for her job, or she doesn't have stuff that she needs, that's my fault, because I'm the one who controls the finances. It's my job to budget, to make sure the lights stay on and all that. I didn't know about that part of being a man. All I thought was either you're super controlling or you're a simp. And I didn't want to be super controlling because my dad wasn't like that. I didn't want to be like that. And my father and mom had been married for 30 years. But the beautiful thing is my parents kept me and my sister out of shit. So as much as I would love to say I knew what my parents were doing right, I don't know. My parents were very good about keeping their kids in a kid's place and an adult in an adult place. My parents are in their 60s now. So when I was born, my parents were already in their upper 30s. So they were like, you know what? Let's keep the kids out of our business. And that helped a lot, right? I know there's some shit that goes on in marriages, but there's a lot of shit I didn't know because my parents kept me and my sister out of it. Finances, everything. So seeing my father not being that kind of man, he wasn't super controlling, but we all knew who ran the house. It wasn't like, does my dad run the house or does my mom run the house? No, it's like, because you already knew if my dad didn't like it, we're fucked. If my dad came home upset, you're fucked. I was never worried about my mother. It was my dad, because we all knew what my dad said goes. My mom could say whatever she wanted, but if dad said it, finito, friend. And so that's what I saw. But, however, because I had a resentment towards my father, and that's stories for another day, I love my father today. But back when I was younger, you know how it is. If you're a man growing up with an actual father in the home, there can be some button heads, something, because you're a young man and he's a grown man, and you're a man trying to be a man, and it just butts heads. So I resented him. So I decided to go the nice guy route. And I get with this woman who has 2 kids and all this shit. The way I got with her was because her man, and I'm not gonna sugarcoat shit. Not really worried about you guys finding out who these people are. These are in the past. These people, not everybody I talk about has gotten better, but that's also why I try to tell my part of the story, to say how shit I am too. All right? I'm not here to judge these people on what they've done. These are just facts. I got with her after a situation happened with custody, and what do you call them? Social workers got involved. So she literally didn't break up with the guy she was with. She had no choice but to leave him because of social worker. So I step in and start hanging out with her, and then I started to pay for stuff. And here's where I fucked up. This is on me. This is why I say simping goes wrong. It's not always the woman's fault, right? It's not, because I didn't have to get with her. I decided what the manly thing to do would be to pay for everything now and treat her like her a queen. She can do no wrong. No matter how much she smoked, no matter how much she drank, no matter how much she missed work, no matter how much she yelled at her kids, no matter how many profanity things she said, no matter how fucked up she was and how backward her life was, I had to treat her like a queen because she's a victim. bullshit. And so I was paying for all of these things, and I was doing all these things for her. And I got to the point where I was babysitting her children that aren't mine, right? She would wait for me to come over and then just flat out leave the house and not be back till like 3 or 4 in the morning because I was there to take care of her kids. To be fair, once again, this is my dumb undoing. I could have easily said, "Can you take care of the kids?" No! And then hopped in the whip, pulled out, never spoke to her again. I just really felt like I was doing the right thing, and I wasn't. I was only hurting her, really, and hurt myself. And so, anyway, she would do this bullshit that she would do, and then other time, it's just gonna end wild. But she would do this stuff, and then eventually she got to the point where she took off work, and this is where it started to come to the bad ending. So once I ended up moving over to another campaign, ended up working at another place, my hours changed, so I couldn't see her as much as I once did. Right now, before that happened, me and her were dating, right? I was taking care of her kids, like I told you. She would come home. This is all while we're dating. She would come home and leave me with the kids, blah, blah, blah. At one point, we were dating, and we had a whole day planned out. Me, her friends, and I was doing a YouTube video, and I texted her like, "Hey, like, I'm on my way out. You good? I hope you're having a great day." Nothing. Maybe 30 minutes goes by. I'm like, "Hey, so you know, I'm about to head out there. Probably here in a couple hours." I called. Remember, this is my girlfriend at the time. It's not like I'm just calling some bitch I don't know. Hello? Nothing. Guess what, guys? I didn't hear a word from her the entire day. Nothing. Not a hello, not a goodbye. Nothing. You know what she did? I bet you can guess. If you've been in this situation, y'all know how it goes. Yeah, she fucked her ex. Yes, she fucked her ex. She went back to her ex and then told me about how she fucked him. As a matter of fact, not like in a mean way. Just like a few days later, she had what she did was text me and be like, "I'm sorry, I got back with him." I shouldn't have expected anything better. Don't expect anything better from these kind of people. But she did that. And a couple days later, she talked about how they were fucking and how life was better and how great he is. And now he said sorry for the first time ever. I'm like, "Bitch, you're stupid." But am I a nice guy at Heroics? I said, "I hope it works out and I hope he treats you better than I ever could have." She ended up in jail for assaulting him. Just a few days after that. After telling me she fucked him and how good he is and how sorry he is, probably about 2-3 days later, she ended up in jail for assault. And guess who bailed her out like a stupid fool? Me. And I didn't have to. Her sister would have paid the money. She just called me first because she knew I was most likely to do it. But she wasn't worried. If I didn't do it, someone else would have. But me being the fucking hero I am, I went and borrowed money to get her bailed out. And you know what happened after that? Nothing. No, I didn't get her. No, I didn't get to go fuck her at home. No kiss, no hug. None of that shit. She ended up fucking another guy completely different from me. Nothing to do with me. She then, after fucking this other guy, not the ex, another dude. Because remember, I've moved to another campaign now, so I don't see her as much. And she fucks this other dude. She comes over to my house one day, and she tells me, she cries in my face because at this time, after all of that, I'm kind of doing my own thing. So I'm kind of fucking around with other girls, right? And she says, she came over crying and saying that me and her should be together. Interesting. Just fucked another dude last week. But we should be together. I knew right then and there. When she came over crying, we hugged. And I knew right there in my soul, I would never fuck with this girl again. She came over, cried, after fucking another dude to tell me we should be together. I was fed up. And this isn't the end of my simp story. I made another mistake after this. But as far as this girl, I hugged her and I knew it was over. I was like, I'm never gonna be with this girl. It's just this is a terrible ass situation. I'm really with a woman who's fucking other men and using me for money at this point now. And then telling me we should be together. She's only telling me that to keep it alive. Because immediately after I hugged her and I knew it was all over, she asked me for money. And that was pretty much it, man. I gave her some money. And I never dealt with her again. Shortly after that, I would say 5 days after that, this bitch could make things crazy. I mean, she could just, oh my Lord. She would say something and just flat out lie right in front of your face. 5 days after that, I am on Facebook. And guess what? She's in a relationship with another man. Not only that, people, guess what? She's getting engaged to another man. After she just said we should be together and asked me for money and would come into my house crying and shit. Boo-hooing. Using my bathroom and shit. And guess what happened with this? Now, she ended up going back and using substances again that I had warned her. I'd already seen the signs that she was going to use again. And she did go back. She told me after 12 years, she would never go back. She did. But fuck that. Whatever. But she had the audacity, and that's the reason I bring this up. She had the audacity to come to me later on, after all this shit went down. She went back to drugs. She's with this guy. She's engaged with this guy. She comes back. I go to work one day, and she had the audacity to come up to me and say, when you're ready to talk, I'm here. Bitch! This is my cleaner channel, but I still cuss. And for some reason, when I said these words, everybody found it hilarious. The parties that were involved. But I said, you're fake as fuck. And I told her to never, ever, ever talk to me again. I stood by it. And I did forgive her one day. I told her I forgive you, but I will never fuck with you again. And I did. And to this day, I haven't. If you care, I'm sure you're like, well, I wonder how her story ended. Did she end up marrying a guy? No. She's single now. Still with the same 2 kids. Same 2 baby fathers. Doing the same things that she did before. And I'm pointing to tell you this, guys. Being a simp is just being delusional. That's the issue with being a simp. You treat someone, and this can go man, woman, whatever. You treat someone with undying loyalty, love, and you would do anything for them when they're giving you nothing back. And it's delusional. It's also selfish, because you really think you're doing something. You're the better person. Even if you do all this shit and it fails, you can always say, but I mean, I put my heart on the line. I did this. I did that. No, you're just fucking delusional. You just treated somebody who doesn't really like you like that. And then you damn near try to force them to date you with your damn kindness. Saying, well, I'm a good man. You'll never get a man like me. I'm telling you, I'm the best you'll ever have. You create an illusion, and then you get pissed off when they date you, knowing they don't want to date you, but you kind of force their hand by being so nice and paying for everything. And then when they turn out to be a piece of shit, you're mad. I'm mad. It was both of our faults. She was a piece of shit, and I was delusional and tried to make it work. Become hell or high water. And then when it didn't, I want to play the victim. Oh no, there's no victims in this story. I fucked up and I was delusional. I treated somebody who, honestly, a piece of shit. Treated everybody up around her bad. Treated her baby's fathers bad. She treated her kids bad. You're delusional. You're delusional. So you can't make her feel. I can't make her feel no worse. It doesn't make any sense for me to go to her and be like, you're a piece of shit. I knew that when I met her. I just called on her because maybe life was hard for her. No. Some people are just bad people. This is what it is. People can say that same shit about me. If you met me at a certain time in my life, people probably think I'm a bad person. And I know, and trust me, there's a lot of people. There's not a lot of people. There's a couple people I know for sure fucking hate me. And I know it because they've said it. And that's on me. And that's on me. I was a piece of shit too. Right? And so, but yeah, that is the second story of an engagement that failed with the first girlfriend. A simping story that ultimately failed. And then I have one more, but the other engagement that didn't work out for me was not me being a simp. But that's a story for another day. I was going to try to say something fucking cool right there. I felt like I really led into that. I felt like I was going to say, well, that's a story for another day. Peace. But I didn't know what to say, so I fucked it up. Damn. Don't be a simp, okay? Also, if you're going to be a simp, listen, just know that it ends terrible. Toxic relationships, if you're the simp, it ends terrible. Don't try to be one of those people like, oh, we're one of the few. Because I did that same shit. It ain't worth it, bro. Walk away. Walk the fuck away. Okay? All right. Thank you. We will get back to another story time. I will tell more about that second engagement. Maybe another month from now. Because I want to get y'all everything. You know, I'm trying to mix up stories from the childhood, adult stories. I'm going to try to mix it up. But thank y'all for coming by. I'll see y'all later. Peace.